That's it, man. Game over, man. Game over. What the F are we going to do now, man? What are we going to do? Welcome to Should You Watch This with the Popcorn Priest, the weekly podcast where movie enthusiasts, ex-movie theater projectionists, new and old friends take the time to talk about a movie that we just watched and answer that very question, should or shouldn't you watch this? There are some places in the universe you just don't go alone. That's why we're going together, soldiers. This time it's war. Join us for a review and breakdown of Aliens from 1986 in our fourth part of a 12-part series of our Alien and Predator extravaganza.
Yes.
You're going out there to destroy them.
That's the plan.
All right, I'm in.
The first time she survived the most terrifying creature in the universe, she thought the nightmare was over.
Now she meets its mom.
It hadn't even begun.
Coming straight for us.
That's inside the room.
Sigourney Weaver, Aliens, the new movie. This time, it's war.
Starts July 18th at a Famous Players and other selected theaters near you. Consultant.
Joining me today is reoccurring guests Angry Dane and Dr. Dare. Welcome to the terraforming colony Hadley's Hope. Courtesy brought to you by Wayland-Yutani Corporation.
Oh, nice. That's not weird. Seem like good dudes when they offer the sponsorship.
Yeah, they seem like on the surface really nice and didn't really want to harm anyone. The details for this one: 57 years after surviving an apocalyptic attack aboard her space vessel by merciless space creatures, Officer Ripley awakens from her hypersleep and tries to warn anyone who will listen about the predators. It says the predators in the description.
Really?
Yeah, that's what it says, the predators.
The predators.
But it's really the aliens.
Yeah, what? Yeah. I mean, they're a predator.
Yeah. It's the IMDb description, so I always include it because it's funny to me. Directed by James Cameron, sometimes friend of the pod. Director of such hits as Avatar, Piranha 2, The Spawning, and Titanic. And no, those are all terrible. More like Terminator, Terminator 2.
You had me.
Judgment Day.
Seriously, I'm like, you picked the what?
True Lies, stuff like that. And coming soon to theaters that no one wants, all the way up to 2028, Avatars 2, 3, 4, and 5.
There's no way.
Do we need 5 Avatars?
There are
James?
5 of them.
Yeah.
Wow.
I didn't really like the first one. Is that okay to say?
No, I
think
hated
it's
the
the
first
most
one.
overrated movie in the history of movies.
And they haven't had a
Maybe-
sequel yet, have they?
No, that's what I'm saying. 2, 3, 4, and 5.
They are too late to the game.
No
Yeah.
one cared
They
then.
never are.
I guess they did.
They
People
did.
care.
Billions of people care.
Yeah. I didn't care,
I
but
didn't
I am.
care. Yeah, we're the few that didn't really like Avatar at all.
No.
But anyway, top billed stars: Sigourney Weaver, Michael Biehn.
Bane, isn't it Bane?
It's Bane.
I'm pretty sure it's Michael Bane.
Michael Biehn.
I'll look it up.
Paul Reiser.
I love that accidentally we have another mispronunciation. Every
Biehn. Michael Biehn. Paul Reiser, Bill Paxton, and playing Bishop, Lance Henriksen.
He's dope.
He is
Go watch
dope.
Millennium. Coolest mystery
What is
show
Millennium? Is it recent?
Michael
No.
Biehn. Michael Biehn.
ever. Bean.
I'm correct for the first time on the pod. Michael Biehn. Not Biehn.
Wow.
Biehn.
This is a real fiasco for Ryan.
Ah! Runtime of 2 hours and 17 minutes or 2 hours and 30 minutes, depending on the version that you watch. We watched the director's cut. Rated R. Genre on Rotten Tomatoes says action sci-fi. And IMDb says action adventure and sci-fi. I like Rotten Tomatoes this time. Action sci-fi. Actually, I would probably say sci-fi action.
Yeah.
It's more sci-fi. Well,
I don't know.
I think it's
This
more of an
had a
action
ton of
movie this
action,
time.
man.
It felt like
There
an
was
action
some
movie to
drag
me.
at the beginning, but then it was
No,
just
they
nonstop.
didn't. They didn't like. It wasn't an onslaught for like an hour. There wasn't like action until, I mean, there was a little bit at the first, but again, no spoilers yet, but I felt, yeah, it's probably interchangeable in my opinion, but Ryan says, or Angry Dane says, action sci-fi is good.
Yeah.
All right. Speaking of IMDb, the rating they give is 8.3 out of 10 from 678,000 reviews.
It's like one of the best reviewed movies.
It's super
movies
high.
on there.
Anything over
Yeah.
7 is really good, I'm finding. Rotten Tomatoes gives us a 97% from critics, 77 critics to be exact, and 94% from 250,000 plus audience ratings.
I can't imagine giving this a rotten rating. I just can't imagine.
There are people out there that didn't like it.
They shouldn't be movie reviewers.
True. So, box office haul on an guess what the budget is on this one?
What was this? 86?
86, yeah.
86, correct.
72 million.
I have no idea.
That's incorrect.
Lower.
18.5 million.
Oh my gosh.
And we'll get into this a little bit later, but there's the opening scene. Anne Hurd, his then wife, convinced him to use his own money to produce that first scene
Where they weld it, they like open the
they're
door.
cutting open the door.
And the guy's like, now we don't. What is he? He like complains that he won't get paid for the mission anymore because there's a real person.
There's a live person in the pod.
Oh, there goes the salvage mission. This lady's alive.
So on a budget of 18.5 million, this one made, guess what? 131 million.
Oh my gosh.
Whoa.
Worldwide. So that's pretty good. No wonder he got to do whatever he needed to do after those two first movies that he made.
100%.
At the time of this recording, you can stream this right now on AMC with a subscription, or if you really want to see it whenever you want, you can go to Patreon.com/Popcorn Priest and donate to the pod, and you can have it forever on Popflix.
Yeah.
Streaming forever. Again,
It's legit.
Yeah. All right, this brings us to the most exciting part of our show. Should or shouldn't you watch this? On the low side. 5 reasons why you should watch this. And you guys can chime in, but here's my 5 reasons. Number 1, the S on the title is a great reason to watch this. Because there's more than one.
Aliens.
Yes. 2, brilliant way they expound on the life cycle of the alien, and this is the only minor spoiler, is they introduce a queen to the life cycle.
Yeah, it's
and
cool.
you get to see a lot more of that life cycle, and it's really cool to see like the whole process of
Yeah, I have
this
some
creature.
thoughts on that because it's cool.
It's always fun to see a baby being born.
Yeah. So cute.
Number 3, Bill Paxton is worth
He
the
should
price
be number
of
1. bro.
admission. I know, he's number 3. Number 4, the practical effects are very exciting and fun to watch. There's so many
good.
things that he did. I mean, that made it better. Like, I don't know if you noticed that he used an old Hollywood effect of having rear projection. So they'd film the effects, then they'd have the actor in front of it, so they didn't have to have a green screen. They would just shoot him in front of the.
He did a ton of stuff. There's a ton of spoilers, but he
Yeah.
like shot stuff in reverse to make it look.
Yes.
I mean, it's cool.
Yeah. So, and last but not least, one of the very few times where the sequel matches or is matched to the first, or in some way it's better.
Yeah.
I mean, what sequels that you can think in that you've seen that are like this, that are as good or better than the first?
Terminator 2.
Terminator 2. Also James Cameron. Solid work.
Yeah, exactly. It's him again. I think Empire Strikes Back is a famous sequel that's arguably better. Like, most fans like that one better than the rest, but it's hard to pull off.
Yeah, it's tough.
Yeah.
Maybe like Kill Bill.
So this brings us to our first category of By the Numbers.
For God's sake, just give me the damn number!
So here I'm going to rapid fire these numbers to you, and you just let me know what you think. When they've landed and deployed in the troop carrier, Apone, I think is her character name, tells the Marines they have 10 seconds until they arrive. If you count from there until the first Marine jumps out of the carrier and his boots hit the ground, it really is 10 seconds.
That's dope.
I really like when movies do that. It's in real time instead of this long drawn. There's like no way, like when a monster's coming towards them or a zombie, and it's like there's 18 cuts, and
you like see a zoomed out shot, and you're like, oh my gosh, he's 10 feet away.
Yeah,
he's running 3 times as fast, and then a minute later, he's almost there.
Yeah, exactly. In both the standard and special edition versions, the 15-minute countdown at the end of the film is indeed 15 minutes also. So
Neat.
I think, did they do that in the first Alien where it was like 5 minutes before the ship blew up? That seemed pretty legit too.
Yeah, it was probably close, but I bet Ridley Scott fudged it a bit.
It's cool that they did that, but I don't think it matters really. Like,
no,
whatever feeling you're
I
trying
just
to
like
convey, and like it's cool that they matched it, but
if it like it
doesn't take away from it if they stretch the time or shrink the time.
Sometimes
or whatever.
when they stretch it, it's like no.
Sometimes they go too far.
If it's too long and it's obvious, if I'm taken out of the movie, that's where it bothers me.
Just the amount of things that people accomplish in 30 seconds is like you just did 50 hand motions. That's not possible here.
But like shrinking it or stretching it, if it draws you in more, then that's
well.
awesome.
And the other thing,
Tension.
to your point, Angry Dane, is I didn't have a stopwatch for the 10 seconds or the 15 minutes. But I would have noticed had it been way longer than that, or way shorter than that. I would have like keyed into that, but I didn't.
Is there a single time where it's shorter?
Probably not.
Where they're like a 10-second countdown and they just do it in like 2 seconds,
unless they say
that
something.
needs to happen.
Yeah,
probably in like satire,
like MacGruber,
right,
or something,
or like the Hot Shots. Was that what those movies were called in
maybe.
the 90s?
Okay, so the movie's budget for production design was almost running out when it was time for constructing the set of the hypersleep chamber. I don't know if you caught into this, Angry Dane, but aboard the Sulaco, the ship, each chamber cost $4,300 to build, meaning that they could only afford to make 4 capsules. Production designer Pete Lamont had the difficult task of telling director James Cameron that they had to omit the entire scene. But James devised a trick. Clever placement of mirrors and camera angles made it look like there were 12 chambers instead of 4.
it's kind of cool.
Which is really cool. You'd know. I was looking this time because I'd done the research. You can see that there's some when the lids are opening, they're not exactly in unison. And
I did notice that just because
two
it bugs
that were
me.
the exact same, and the other 2 are the exact same. So you could tell, but it didn't. If you didn't know, it didn't matter. But it's just really cool that they, when you have these constraints, people find a way to make it cool.
I paid really close attention because it bothers me that they didn't all open at the same time. But at no point, I just thought, oh man, why didn't they just lift them up at the same time? At no point did I think there's only 4 or however many there were.
They really should have lifted them up all this at the same time because that would really sold the effect.
But maybe if there were, like, it was on hydraulics, like, that's like it's not like manual where they're lifting it up.
Yeah.
I mean, this is in the 2030s, bro. We're nitpicking, but
no, it's
I'm
from
with Ryan.
86. I know it's said that they didn't have the technology. Okay. The film takes place in 2179.
Oh, wow.
This is derived from Ripley's statement about Burke's transmission to the colony on 6/12/79. No century was specified, but in the in-universe guide, Aliens: Colonial Marines Tactical Manual, that was published in 1995, set both Alien and Aliens in the 22nd century. The events of Alien have since been retroactively and canonically dated to 2122. So 57 years later.
I wrote in my notes that it said it was in like the 2030s.
Yeah, you're right. So
Didn't you just say 2179?
Yeah.
I'm thinking 2030.
Oh no, 2179.
That makes a couple of things I'm going to say way worse. It's awesome.
All right. Although more alien suits were created, only 6 of them were used at a time. And even then, they were often just a handful of latex appliances on black leotards, which didn't seem that way to me.
You saw that in the first Alien. Like one time he was getting up.
These ones looked way better than the first
100%.
one. All the effects and it looked.
Yeah,
it didn't look like it was made in 1986. It looked like it was made in 1993 or something. It looked newer than it is.
Yeah.
So when it looked like hundreds of aliens, it was just good editing, great planning, and then great lighting to give the illusion of more aliens. Because I always thought, I'm like, whoa, there's so many, but there was only 6 at a time.
Oh, that's cool.
On screen, or at least how they edited it. What's the F word count?
25.
Dang it. You looked it up.
Yeah, I did.
How many were spoken by Hudson?
It's the best
20?
trivia.
18.
Oh, you were close.
Yeah,
I
good.
wrote that down too.
How many times does Hudson say, man? Oh, man. I got it, so game over, man.
27.
Too many.
35 times he says, man.
I got really sick of Hudson.
Oh, you
Dude,
did?
no way. I love Hudson.
He improvised the most famous line, a ton of them. He was just riffing, man.
It's so
He
good.
channeled his inner dude.
Let's see. It was voted the 42nd greatest film of all time by Entertainment Weekly. Described as the greatest pure action movie ever.
It's great.
Here's another number. I'm like 2 more. Sigourney Weaver was paid $1 million to reprise her role as Ripley. A 30-fold increase in salary from Alien. 30-fold.
Wow.
She also received a percentage of the film's gross. Her salary would increase with every subsequent Alien movie. $5.5 million for Alien 3, and finally $11 million for Alien Insurrection.
Popcorn Priest?
Yes.
Was she kind of an unknown when they made the first Alien? Did that kind of make
I think
her
she
career?
was in TV prior to that, but
Okay.
I don't know. I didn't
I was just curious.
research that. So this is the longest film of all the Alien films, clocking in at 2 hours and 17 or 30 minutes, depending on which version you watch.
I have a cool numbers thing.
Hit me with it. That's all I've got.
How many operators did it take to make the Queen move?
Oh, I have that. I for sure have that.
Oh,
I think it's like 18.
What?
between 14 and 16.
Wow. I was thinking 5 or 6 people.
Yeah, between 14 and 16, it said.
Yeah, I have that in popcorn
blew me
trivia.
away.
I'm having a hard time not doing spoilers.
Same.
Okay, well, at this point, if you have any comments that are not non-spoilerly.
I mean, at one point, I think this is a non-spoiler. Maybe I should save it for later, but it's just comical to me how little they put into thinking about how much the value of these items would be.
Oh, like this one's like $1 million worth.
He's like, oh, this whole mining frigate costs $42 million.
Yeah, that was pretty
Yeah.
funny.
And then this is $1 million installation, especially if it's in the 20.
it would be
first
like
or
a
22nd
billion.
century.
Or like,
They were talking
trillions of
80s.
dollars.
Not
Yeah.
even 80s. Even in the 80s, that would have been like a spaceship or anyway.
Just
yeah, it would be way more. Even in the 80s, like
It
you
would
said.
have been like hundreds of billions of dollars.
yeah, they get so
Yeah.
specific into all these details, and then they say 42 million with a straight face.
And he says it like it's, you guys need
Yeah.
to be careful. This
Whoa,
is an
watch out.
expensive thing here.
yeah,
Like they're like the exhaust port thing at the end. They're looking at it and he's like telling how expensive it
Yes.
is. It's like, dude, it
Yeah.
would be just the mere fact to get it there, let alone set it up, would be
dude.
trillions.
It's
of
awesome.
dollars. Yeah,
It's
that's
awesome.
good. That's good. So at this point, there may be some spoilers up ahead. So if you want to watch them and come back and join us for the breakdown of Aliens, do so now.
You should.
And we'll see you guys next week. Well, folks, sorry to cut this discussion off. Find out even more trivia, more stats. Join us next week for part 2 of our review and breakdown. See you guys next week.